you mentioned Breitbart and you mentioned Fox News. I want to ask you about both of them. Now, Steve Bannon, who is out of the White House, who came from Breitbart,
Correct.
is back at Breitbart. So is Breitbart, like with Bannon back, stronger than ever now?
I think it's stronger in that
In terms of its influence.
Because they also control they have a lot of impact over a lot of the Trump base. So if Breitbart isn't happy with Trump, it's likely that a lot of the base won't be happy either, depending on how things are presented. Bannon has now the power to effectively go to war against what he deems the establishment, creating more problems for Trump. And also, Trump, who likes to be liked, will probably cave in some of the policy issues to what Breitbart wants. And immigration is one of the things where this is Steve Bannon's making. Stephen Miller, who's still at the White House, is also big on anti-immigration. And all these policies come heavily influenced by nativist anti-immigrant groups. And they use their platforms in right-wing media to not only go against the facts, but also to promote the animosity towards immigrants and to concoct pretty much these lies that, not based on facts, to be able to sell as a justification why to unfairly end a program that is in fact working so well and is, benefiting the economy, benefiting families.
Right. So Breitbart definitely has an influence on the man in the Oval Office,
and
right?
they know it.
Yeah. And he is likely to be persuaded to do things in a way that's going to keep them happy. What about Fox and Friends in the morning? I mean, isn't that like Donald Trump's lodestar?
Fox and Friends and Donald Trump have a symbiotic relationship of sorts in that to Fox and Friends, the fact that the president is getting all the information pretty much from their show is an incentive to keep the president happy. So it's a program that's produced for an audience of one. So when you're trying to please someone,
amazing.
And that becomes a disincentive to explain the facts that might be, not land with your audience happily. So there's a disincentive to actually report the truth and comment on the truth when it's inconvenient.
There's never been a TV network, even before you thought Fox was powerful, but they almost have Donald Trump on a string right now. Right?
And I wouldn't discount the influence of Breitbart and the far right fringe that controls so much of the Trump base. The Trump base exclusively watches this program. So in a way, they become the mouthpieces for whatever the administration wants to sell to the public. And so it's a symbiotic relationship in which you have the administration knowingly using these shows as propaganda to, basically concoct whatever truth or whatever narrative that benefits the administration. And you have these media, which is pretty much just benefiting from having the exclusive attention of the president and getting praised. Fox News constantly getting praised by the president.
Yeah, just last week, so the day after Donald Trump makes this deal with Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, he was so excited because Morning Joe said good things about him, and Fox and Friends said good things about Nancy and Chuck. And Donald Trump was just, it was an orgasm for him, right? I mean, these two shows, the morning shows like me.
It's not so much about policy and the impact and effects and intended consequences of policy. It's about what the media are saying and what the media, perceive as a success or not.
If you are discouraged by everything you hear, even accidentally from the right-wing media, the place to get the truth to expose all of those lies is Media Matters. It has been for a long time. We depend on them here for our show, and you should too. Go to MediaMatters.org. And Cristina, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.